She's eluded much of the history books, and it may have been intentional, but her sound caught the ear of one too many to completely vanish. In 2014, the New York Times did their best to uncover her mystery, and R. Crumb talks about the power of music from this generation of recording artists just before putting on a record of Last Kind Words in his documentary, Crumb.
When I listen to old music, that's one of the few times when I actually have a kind of a love for humanity. You hear the best part of the soul of the common people, you know. Modern music doesn't have that calamitous loss that people can't express themselves that way anymore, you know.
And for the longest time, we're still scratching for even her legal name. Researcher Robert Mack McCormick, known famously for his unfinished works.
I am resented by some people for not having published not just Robert Johnson, but a lot of other information. And I share that resentment. I'm more pissed than they are.
He found that Wiley's real name was Lily May, and it was given to her by her music partner who recorded under the name L.V. Thomas, who was really L.V. Thomas. Good reason why these two women didn't want to use their real names for these sessions. This was the 30s. L.V. was a lesbian, hanging around this woman Lily May, who reportedly just killed her husband. These two, despite all this, are running up to Wisconsin to record for Spear at Paramount Records, and then basically vanish. The song at hand is Last Kind Words Blues, and the player is Geeshie Wiley, or is it Geeshie Wiley? No one can really say. Let's check this out. This is a Last Kind Words Blues. It's an E minor, but it's one of those tunes that starts on the 4 chord. In this case, the 4 chord is A minor. This is outlining your A minor chord. Now, if you want to be authentic and true to this recording, give it a quick listen here. She actually doesn't play the A of the A minor chord there. She drones on the E. So she's pedaling on an E. My own personal take, go ahead and play that A if you want to. A lot of people do. But if you listen to the recording, she didn't do that. This next lick here, though, is probably the lick you're all here for. You gotta slide from the 4th fret to the 5th fret on the B string. And same idea on this next string set here. It's a half step below your target, which in this case is the 3rd fret to the 4th fret. And once you get to that 4th fret, you're gonna double it against the adjacent open string. So you got the... And the second time she does that, she just walks down. Alright, so those are the first 2 main licks. That's kind of the main part of this tune. The next part is just the 5 chord. Just B7 and back. The only tricky part is you can count it in groupings of 4 and 2, which equals 6. So you can count it as in 6/4 or just a grouping of 4 and a grouping of 2. However it works for you, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that first time, it's 6 beats. That's just how she played it, and she consistently plays it that way. I actually recorded this tune like a year ago, and then so this video was actually requested by a Patreon of mine, which is just a really fun thing about Patreon, is to, you know, go back to these old videos I've made and make tabs and tutorials for. So if there are any that you're interested in, I'm super happy to dive into any of those. There's a higher part that I do that I made up. I take the melody in octave higher, and there will be a separate tutorial over on the Patreon of that high part that are just for the patrons over there. You can check it out over on the Patreon. I also have a series over there called Rare Radio, where we dig into old records, and I'll talk a little bit about the history, maybe how I found the record, and then we listen to it together. So that's over on the Patreon. Again, thanks for checking this out. Subscribe if you like this kind of thing, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks.